smoke is quieting down. Seems like we've got to a lot of the smoke. Dub, you got smoke?
Is QueenzFlip obsession with Melyssa for going too far? Now, there's a growing narrative floating around that QueenzFlip might be obsessed with Melyssa Ford. This has been building for a while now. Flip often brings her up, tells personal stories about her, or exposes her private views on various topics. And in one recent episode of the Joe Budden podcast, episode 759, titled Farina Baby, Flip may have taken things too far, causing an expensive reaction from Melyssa that could mark a turning point in their friendship. Look at the files.
No, I take it back.
Have I been in?
No, I don't play with you. I know. I was outside. I know who Big Ford is.
Real quick, we were talking about trips, and when we were doing the show, Mel and I, we were talking about places that have nasty food, right?
L.A. I'm
she
sorry.
Was saying, no, she was saying the Bahamas have nasty food.
Wait,
And-
hold the.
on.
Whoa.
That's not
Shit.
Whoa.
Expose some shit.
Wow. What the fuck?
I'm telling you now. If
that's
you
the end.
No, stop. If you playing to the audience, I'm going to get you.
That's
Don't
the
play
end
to
of
them.
your little.
I'm making a point. Stop.
Let me stay here and take pics
Stop.
in the lobby deals you be doing.
Fuck, I don't take no
That's the end of
pictures.
that.
I'ma fuck you up.
Why?
Cause you're a fucking dick.
Because that was privileged information.
God
That the
damn
Bahamas
it.
have nasty food?
joking.
Again, he keeps saying this shit.
All right, is the Bahamas
He
the
keeps
Bahamas
saying
food
this
is
shit.
good.
She has business out there, yo.
All right, so take that part out.
Nah,
The
it's
fuck?
too late. It's too late.
She told me that. I just want to know.
Now, during this episode, Flip shared something Melyssa told him behind the scenes, and it got ugly. You heard Parks, he noted during the exchange, that was privy information. And Joe Budden quickly followed up with, yup, that's going to be the end of their little pictures and hangouts after the podcast ends for the day. Now, you could sense the tension brewing. Flip revealed Melyssa's private opinions about one of her favorite travel destinations, the Bahamas, a place where she not only vacations but also conducts business. For Melyssa, this wasn't just an innocent conversation, it was personal, and it had professional stakes. By exposing her feelings to millions of listeners, Flip may have jeopardized her future endeavors in the region. Despite Melyssa's attempts to clean it up later on, the damage had already been done. What's surprising here is that Joe didn't have Parks edit the part out of that episode. You would think, given the potential impact on Melyssa's brand, someone would have stepped in for her sake, right? Some fans are even floating the idea that Joe allowed it to stay in the episode as part of a larger tactic. Is this his way of keeping Melyssa from straying too far from the show or asserting his dominance? That's one narrative circulating, but I'm not entirely sure. Joe seems like he genuinely wants all of them to win, and that includes Melyssa, who has numerous outside deals and projects. As we've seen, she tends to be cautious with what she says on the pod, likely trying to maintain a certain image that aligns with her business ventures. But Flip got upset too. He felt like Melyssa was playing into the audience, acting like she was angry about him exposing her opinion, when, according to him, she was just putting on a show. However, this time, it seemed different. Right? This time, Mel wasn't playing. Her frustration was real, and it's clear she's starting to feel the weight of Flip's constant boundary crossing. Here's a question, though. Why hasn't Melyssa drawn firmer lines with Flip by now? Why haven't they established a keyword or signal when something is off limits for discussion? Flip seems to treat their personal conversations like fair game the moment they're over. A private convo isn't a private convo with Flip, and it's starting to cause real tension. In the latest Patreon episode, Melyssa noticeably held back, cutting Flip off mid-sentence a few times, perhaps an indication that she's learning how to manage with him. You know what I mean? But is that enough? Because with Flip, just saying stop, Nudging him off or showing uncomfortability isn't enough. He comes from a time in New York City where guys played rough, often pushing the limits with one another. Some got away with it, while others may face the consequences. But Flip has built his career on creating uncomfortable situations and leaning into the tension. Now, however, he's trying to evolve that image, attempting to flip the public's perception of him. And in real time, it's fascinating to watch. Can he transform his brashness into something more controlled, releasing that explosiveness only when necessary? That's a good question, right? Now, as for Melyssa, she seems to consistently get the short end of the stick when it comes to these situations with the guys on the pod. Even though she stood up for herself during this episode, I believe that clip should have been edited out regardless, especially given her business ventures in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. What do you think? Was Flip out of line here? Should Joe and the team have removed that part of the podcast for Melyssa's sake? And do you think Melyssa will eventually confront Flip head on? Or will she just continue to hold back and keep the peace? And lastly, how should Flip handle his dynamic with Melyssa moving forward? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, share this on your socials, and we'll be back with the files.
My guy Dub, too. That's my man, though.
Gang, gang.
That's my man, Big Dub.